Good evening to all the online students as well. How's your preparation going on? Good. So yeah, today's topic of the lecture is interior and major mineral elements. Good evening class, good evening Manjot. Yes Divya, good evening Cindy. I think I'm appropriately pronouncing your name. Yeah, so today's class we are going to discuss interior of the earth and major mineral elements of the earth. When you are looking for NCERT pattern, so it has a distribution of volcanoes, earthquake and types of volcanoes and earthquakes as well. But as UPSC's demand is geophysical activities, so we are precise with the syllabus. So volcano and earthquake class is going to be in the specific class domain that we are going to discuss. But in this class, just a basic generic approach of interior of the earth and major mineral elements of the earth. Okay? Minerals, rock cycle, formation of rock, rock beds, and the several stuffs. So shall we start? Begin the today's lecture. Okay. So first we have today is Earth's interior. कल का confusion जो class का था कि people says that Allahabad, okay let's discuss some confusion. Allahabad near है. It's near, it's here in Mirzapur, crossing directly. Okay. So I thought you're saying about some latitude town or city in Uttar Pradesh, Mirpur maybe. So it may lie on the same latitude, na? Right? It may lie on the same latitude but not on the longitude. That's why it is near Allahabad. The question was for Indian Standard Time. The answer from, I don't know, some northeastern student at online, ki ma'am it says Allahabad. No, it is near. Okay, lies in the same latitude but not the longitudinal standard. So this was the confusion cleared. Okay. So yeah, today's topic is lecture 3. Interior of the earth in the first half. Interior of the first half. There was one main question in 2017 that discussed how the magnetism field of earth is being changing in passing years. You can write the question. Discuss how, online students as well, you can write the question. Discuss how the magnetism field has been changed in the past several years. This is the question of today. We will be discussing some parts in relation to our first chapter, that was evolution of earth and formation of lithosphere, right? So lithosphere is the composition of earth and crust and mantle. Because every chapter you need to understand the concept because it has a complement to the second chapter. Lithosphere, crust plus mantle, outer part, right? So above the asthenosphere, right? So this is lithosphere. We have already know the evolution, how it has been done. Because of the drowning of many heavy metals in the core of the earth, right? So that had happened and gave birth to lithosphere and today's earth surface. And that surface is called as crustal layer. But we need to understand its depth and interior as a geologist or a geographer to understand its outer mechanism on the earth's surface. Suppose we need to understand the temperature, the pressure, the gravitational mechanism inside the earth, so that it is going to help us to understand the different geophysical and geo-astronomical phenomena that is going on the earth. So we all know that earth has a radius 6,370 kilometer from the crust. Okay, many students ask me, I don't know from where they build a concept, because we are on the top. We are here. Or we are here. No, it is in the spherical 3D dimension. We are not on the 2D dimension, right? It's a 3D dimension. So it has several specific zones. The latitudinal extent you might be saying. So it has latitudinal extent and we are on the 3D dimensions. Okay, and it has spheres. It is not in a ball shape. Its sphere atmosphere is in a ball or spherical shape. We are on the land surface and it is on the oval node, right? It is oval node. So if you have such confusion in your mind that, okay, fine, we are on the top of the earth, so it's nothing like that. Its atmosphere is built up in the spherical curriculum because of the gravitational pull. Okay, so we have 6,370 kilometer of Earth's radius. Temperature is very high in the core, some 13,000 Kelvin. So it's very, very, very impossible that you can enter and jump into the Earth's surface. It's impossible. So we have what? We need to understand the depth and we have two sources. One is direct. You can write in your copy. Sources of interior of the Earth. First is your direct sources. And second is your indirect sources. If you are reading NCERT continuously, the 11 physical geography, you have two sources. Indirect, we have first mining, because mining is the basic general cheap criteria of cultivating the materials and the parts from the earth. So mining is the first direct source because that gives you an idea to analyze the composition inside the earth. So deepest mine in the world, South Africa, it has gold mines, yes, in NCERT given. South Africa, it has gold mines 3 to 4 kilometer of depth. Kola, Arctic Circle. So what is the project going on in Kola? You can, there's a UPSC question with that. What is the project going on in Kola under this direct sources? That is also going on, but in Kola specifically, this is the map here. You can practice it. This is the map. This is Norway. And here it is Kola. Okay. This is all the Scandinavian belt. Here it is Russia. Okay. Here it is Kola in Arctic belt. This is Arctic Circle. So here it's a project name you can write. Super deep borehole you can say. Super deep borehole project respectively. This super deep borehole project inculcated by USSR. Yes, they were in South Africa as well, the deepest mine. But in Kola separately, the project of mining is taking place just to understand the interior parts of the earth. So, you can write, the name of the project is Super Deep Borehole by USSR in the Soviet sung time, but now it has been taken care by Russia. The Super Deep Borehole project has the umbrella Integrated Deep Drilling Project. Okay. and Deep Ocean Drilling Project. These are two umbrella projects going under the Super Deep Borehole Project, COLA. Okay. So first source is your mining. So you can write in the notes, indirect source. Mining is the basic and easy source. First you can make this flow chart. The first source is mining. Mining is a easy and basic source which are clearly being extracted, from the earth's surface. From the earth's surface. So here you can give the example given by NCERT and GC Leong's book, Super Deep Borehole by USSR under the umbrella Deep Drilling Ocean Project and Integrated Ocean Drilling Project. Okay. So here you can make the map of COLA as well if you want to. Should I draw it once again on the board? Okay, fine. Online students also you can draw. This is Norway and Scandinavian belt. Here it is a pot comprised of the Arctic Circle. This is Arctic Circle. Okay, here it is Russia. Here this is COLA. Once we are going to study the Earth's crust, we will know its layers. Why the deep drilling project is going just beside the Arctic Circle on the oceanic belt? Because क्या होता है? What happens? Yeah, Sushanta, I am saying that write the flow chart. This is sources. First is direct source to study about the interior of the earth. Second is indirect sources. In direct sources, we are studying mining. Okay. So mining is the basic and easy source of information under direct sources. Okay. So under mining, there is a project going on just to study the interior of the earth. Not only we are extracting gold or mines. The specification of this mining was only to study the interior of the earth, taken place in COLA and Arctic Circle. Okay. So why it was happening here? Why cannot be it can happen on Ural range? Why not on Himalayan range? Exactly, because sea's surface is very thin in layer and drilling can be done in a quick manner. Okay, it is not time taking. So that's why it is going taking place, or it is the project is taking place here because of the oceanic sphere and oceanic surface, right? Okay, now next is your volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions are also one of the direct sources. Radius less at poles, not in Arctic. Yes, Yogesh, radius is less at poles and not in Arctic, so in Arctic. Yes, correct. Radius is less at poles, so in Arctic means that the spreadsheet of crustal layer is less on just all over the oceanic spheres. Okay, now second is your volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruption is the second direct source. First is mining. Why it is the second direct source? Because we don't need to work hard to research something, right? The pressure belt in the asthenosphere is doing itself. The molten magma is coming out of the surface, and what we do, we can take the molten magma in the condensed form to the laboratory and we can check what are the materials are deep inside the earth. So second is your volcanic eruption. You can write it in your copy. Molten magma is thrown out on the surface. Molten magma is thrown out on the surface. Gives us an idea and direct understanding. Gives us an idea and direct understanding. Direct understanding of the composition of minerals inside the earth, of the compositions of the minerals inside the earth. Okay. Now here we are closing the direct sources. Okay. These two are the general overview of direct sources. Now let's come to indirect sources. Direct means we are getting everything in front of our eye. But in indirect sources, we need to estimate and interface the substances. Here we cannot be correct by all manner. But yes, scientists are expanding their views of thought. So yes, to study the interior of the earth, here we have indirect sources as well. So the first source is what? A meteor. Why a meteor? Again come to the first chapter, evolution of earth, solar system and universe. Every part of this universe or the solar system has been inculcated from a tiny particle, which means there has been similarity between its particles. So if a meteor is found on the earth belt, so what we do, we have a handstand at our front. So what we do, we take it to the laboratory and we check its composition. Somehow we can say that it is also a part of solar system. Similarly, earth is also a part of solar system. So both have a similarity of composition, right? So you can write here, first is meteor. It belongs to the same family. It belongs to the same family and the same type of Earth's material. And the same type of Earth's material. Right? Comprise of gases, rocks, minerals. Now, next indirect source is gravitation. Next indirect source is gravitation. Here your answer is a complementary answer, Yogesh. We can understand it here. Gravitation. The radius is less at poles. So, the gravitation is high on poles. Gravitation is high on poles. Why? Because the radius, or you can say the depth, sorry, I think in the camera it's not being seen. Yeah, radius, depth, radius is low, less, so gravitation is high. Gravitation is high, right? That's why we can understand that Earth's interior and composition is not similar at all the spaces, right? Because of the gravitational pull working separately and on a differentiation nodules, right? So you can write its point. Online students also write down. Gravitation is high on poles and less on equator. Gravitation is high on poles and less on equator. That's why there is an estimate of differentiation of density inside the Earth's interior. Third is your gravity anomaly, similar with the second one, but third is your gravity anomaly, which means change in gravity. It's not that the Earth's structure or interior is static. वो एक जैसा है. No, it is being changing by time to time. That's why I had given you a mains question that discuss the magnetism and the change in magnetic field of the earth. How? Because at the primordial state what happened, the gravitational pull and the magnetism was very high. Why? Because it has no surface. With the complete and comprised building of surface, what happened? The gravitational pull becomes low. So the gravity anomaly changes with time. Okay. So this also says us about the interior of the earth, that the density and the sheets and the place are being changing. It's in the continuous form. Indirect source, we have no direct evidence of it. Okay. Third is your magnetic sources. Third is your magnetic sources. What are magnetic sources? Which gives us an idea, about the composition of metals in the earth's core. Magnetic source gives us the idea about the metals composite or the composition of metals inside the earth's core. So the first sources is from the core itself, that yes, it has magnet. Why? Because it's a knife belt, nickel and ferrous, nickel and iron, right? So that's why if there is iron and nickel, similarly magnetism will work. Second source is from lithosphere itself, the mantle layer of lithosphere. It also gives us the idea of magnetism. Why? Because every rock in the asthenosphere, what happens? Attracts and drowns itself in the belt. So the second source of magnetism is from lithosphere. Indirect source, the second source you can write in your copy. The second, okay Divya, I'm repeating it. Magnetic source is the fourth indirect source we are discussing. So in magnetic sources, the first evidence we found from Earth's core part. The first evidence of magnetic source we found from Earth's core part, okay? And because of the composition NiFe, N-I-F-E, N-I-F-E, core consists of Ni-Fe, which means nickel and ferrous. Nickel and ferrous, which means iron. So if it constitutes of iron, similarly it has some fields of magnetism. It has a very high base of magnetism. Okay. So magnetic contribution is from core. Second, the magnetic sources we found from the lithosphere, the belt of upper mantle zone. Okay. And the third from the Earth's external field, the atmosphere. Because iron is also available in the atmosphere, right? That's why thundering happens. That's why we feel the current of thundering, because of the culmination of iron in the atmosphere. So these three general sources of magnetic sources that we give us the evidence of the interior of the earth, which means magnet is also a part of interior, right? Now fifth is, Divya, have you written? Anyone else who has not? Yes. Okay. Now fifth source of indirect source is seismic waves. For online students, I can write it here. Seismic waves. The fifth source. What is seismic waves? Seismic waves are those waves that generates the motion within the interior of the earth. Similarly, it is a motion or the wave that contributes the earthquake. Okay. So seismic wave is the type of wave which gives us all the natural earthquakes on the earth's surface. Discontinuation in the wave gives us the earthquake. Okay, but you know why earthquake happens on the earth's surface? because it's on the general understanding. I'm going to teach you that in the next class about a basic understanding of earthquakes and volcano, but for a general understanding, seismic waves, yes, plate tectonics, correct Nakul, but the plate tectonics itself generates the waves inside the earth, deep down inside the earth, but the waves density or intensity is not felt by us. It felt once it crosses the Richter scale boundary, right? So every second there is a seismic wave continuously working inside the earth. But when we felt the earthquake, yes, collision of plate. What's your name? Sushanta Kundu. Yeah. Collision of plate. You can correct your spelling beta, but yes, correct understanding. Due to shifting of plate, their movement causes earthquake. Yes, Abhay. But on a larger glance, when the plates, the convergent boundary, divergent boundary, discontinue itself on a larger gland, but the seismic wave is working every second. When it converts into earthquake? When the wave comes on the surface, right? Otherwise, the earthquake is happening in general understanding, you can keep in mind, the earthquake is happening every second inside the earth. When we feel, it's for us earthquake, right? So it happens when the waves reaches the surface, right? So yes, this is how the indirect sources ended. 5 indirect source we have: meteor, gravitation, gravity anomaly, magnetic sources, and then seismic waves. We have direct sources: mining and volcanic eruptions. Clear? After that, we have waves. So we need to discuss about waves. The waves we were discussing in the indirect sources that we need to discuss to understand the interior part of the earth. Then after we will discuss the structure. So yes, we have 2 waves, seismic and body. Interior of the earth, we have seismic waves and body waves. This is a continuation process. It is continued. But this takes on interval. So you can write the first point between 2. You can make this kind of differentiation chart: body wave and seismic wave. So body waves are due to shifting of plate of there. Yes, Abhay, correct. Okay, so you can make this segmentation between seismic waves and body waves. This is on a continuation mode, this is on interval mode, the basic general difference. So body waves are generated Am I audible to you now, Abhay? Okay. Body waves are generated due to the release of energy at a center part and moves in all direction. So basically what happens with the body wave, suppose here it is a surface, deep inside the wave occurs. Okay, this is a point, the wave occurs. Then what will happen? It will move in all direction. Okay. It has 3 types. primary, secondary and surface waves. So you can write down. It has three types: primary waves, secondary waves and surface waves. Three waves. So this is the graph being made, the kind of wave travel graph in your NCERT book. Have you seen, if you are covering your NCERT? So this kind of graph is being made. Right? This is P wave, this is S wave and this is surface wave. Okay, understand the concept. Surface wave again is the complementation of P wave and S wave. If it happens on the surface, it is surface wave. Similarly, if the earthquake is behind the earth, we are not feeling it, the culmination of P wave and S wave is not working for us. If the earthquake reaches the crust layer, then it becomes hence surface wave, right? So surface wave is the most destructive wave because it leads the destruction on the crust, on the surface of the earth. So write down some specification of P waves. P waves are longitudinal waves. P waves are longitudinal waves. What is longitudinal wave? Anyone from online? What is the type of longitudinal wave? Yes, जिस तरफ जा रहा है parallel to the direction of propagation. This is how it goes, right? And what is transverse wave? Perpendicular to the direction. Suppose it generates here, it will shift like this. So S wave is transverse. First write down the specification of the P waves. So first line is the waves are longitudinal. Second is moves faster and arrive on the surface. It moves faster and arrives on the surface. Why? Why it moves faster? Because the propagation time is less, na? Where it started, it can travel seedha. If we travel in the straight direction, we'll take less time to reach our place. If we will take, right? So we will take more time. So here everything is conceptual. The waves are longitudinal, that's why it is faster. It will take less time to reach the propagation area. Okay? Now it is like sound wave, again longitudinal. It can travel all the state of matter, solid, liquid and gas. Okay? So you can write the third point about P wave, your primary wave. It is like sound wave. It can travel all the matters, solid, liquid and gas. Now secondary wave. This is secondary wave. Okay? So this wave is type of transverse wave. So transverse wave takes longer time to reach the surface. Okay? So it takes longer time to arrive at the surface. It takes longer time to arrive at the surface with a time lag. It takes with the proper interval. Now it can only travel with the medium of solid. So why we are studying this for the interior of the earth? It describes us that interior of the earth contains of different types of matter, solid, liquid and gaseous state. The waves and the travel of waves makes us understand that it is not only composite of solid pair. It has liquid as well, it has gaseous state as well. So that's why these waves help us to understand, build our general understanding. Now the third is your surface wave. Third wave is your surface wave. This wave is the most destructive wave. This wave is the most destructive wave, surface wave. Why it is destructive? Discussed earlier. Because once the P and S wave reaches the surface, it takes to tsunami, if it is occurring in the ocean, earthquake, it will lead to landslide, soil erosion, overflooding when it is happening on the continent. So yes, it is the most destructive wave when it reach the when P and S wave combinedly reach the surface. So hence it becomes surface wave. Now the propagation of earthquake waves, or we call it seismic waves. Propagation means, what is the meaning of, literal meaning of propagation? Anyone from online? Literal meaning of propagation? Yeah, propagation means basically direction or path. Propagation of earthquake waves or seismic waves. Okay, so basically direction or path. So yeah, it travels in different manner. Vibration of body happens if it, suppose the structure is rocky. In the earth crust, the structure is rocky. If the structure is plain, if the structure is watery, what would be the mechanism of propagation of earthquake waves? Here, it will take time, more time to reach the surface. If earthquake is happening, suppose on the Tibet zone of Himalaya, so the time to reach the surface will be more. Suppose from the mantle it will take 8 to 9 minutes to reach the surface. The propagation becomes high because of the solidification of the structure. In the plane, gangetic plane, if the propagation of earthquake wave is coming, then it will take, might say, moderate time. Right? 6 or 5 minutes from the focus to the epicenter. Okay? And if the place is watery, suppose if the earthquake wave propagation is taking place in the watery space in Pacific belt, then might be it will take 3 to 4 minutes, means less time. So here there is a differential structure inside the earth. Earthquake propagation gives us an idea. The waves also gives us an idea of the differential structure of matter inside the earth. Here we know about the structure difference. In the previous topic, we knew about the differentiation of matter composition. So this is how the propagation of earthquake and seismic waves tell us about the structural differentiation of the earth surface. So you can write it. Earthquake waves travel. Yes, okay, spreading. Spreading for what, Nakul? Please detail me the sentence that you are saying. Okay. So you can make this plain general understanding of your image, because geography has an image understanding that will clear your concepts if you will make images. So earthquake waves travel in different manners. They cause vibration in the body of the matter they crosses or they passes through. Okay, yes, Cindy, I can repeat it again. Propagation of earthquake waves. Earthquake wave travel in different manners. Earthquake waves travel in different manners. They cause vibration in the body of the matter. They cause vibration in the body of the matter. They passes through. They passes through. So this is how the seismic or earthquake wave travels in the crest and trough manner. Okay, this is your crest, this is your trough. Okay, so this is how earthquake wave travels in any matter. So this generally creates a set of vibration. Okay, now very important understanding building concept, emergence of shadow zone. Because you need to understand that what are the earthquake and volcanic zones. If you are not going to understand the concept of shadow zone, you are not going to understand the distribution of volcanoes and earthquake zones of the world. Because on the world map, geophysical, let's comprise with the UPSC syllabus, the geophysical mechanism is being directly asked by UPSC. So you need to understand the world distribution and mapping of earthquake and volcanoes. So to understand that, you need to build your concept in understanding emergence of shadow zone. First, definition of shadow zone. Shadow means, why the concept, why the term shadow is used here? What is the literal meaning of shadow? Where the light is not happening, or the backward side, where no mechanism of happenings can be done, nothing is happening here. So this is shadow zone. Okay, so you can write the definition. Shadow zone means divide of earth. Yes, Manjot, correct. Dark figure cast. Yes, the darkness where the no activity of light is being taking place. Yes. So seismic wave divides the earth into different zones. Why it happens? Why it happens? Because the shadow zone exists on the earth because of the division of earth into 3 layers. Because the waves travel in different zones. Because if suppose the earth's layer was in one single form, then it would be easy for waves to travel. Might be the state of the earth is brittle like crust, very vulnerable, very fragile. But due to the layering of the earth's surface, the shadow zone itself builds, and there are specific very prominent zones of earthquake and volcanic eruptions. But similarly, there are 0 zones of such eruptions and such happenings, okay, because of the layering of the earth. The second is the liquidification of the mantle. Second reason of shadow zone is liquidification of mantle. Second reason for the arise of shadow zone or different distribution of volcanic eruptions and earthquake zones of the world is liquidification of mantle. If the mantle is mantle's asthenosphere is liquid, why? Because of the high temperature state. You can write one question, exercise question. Okay, Divya, first reason for the creation of shadow zone is division of earth into 3 layers, crust, mantle and core. The first reason. And the second reason is liquidification of mantle. Here I am giving you one exercise question. Why the asthenosphere is known as the plastic layer of the earth's structure or earth's interior. Why the asthenosphere is known as the plastic layer of the structure of interior of the earth. Okay, Why could we call it the plastic layer? Plastic means it's what is the component or composition of plastic? Polymer. And can we break the polymers into parts? Yes, but it is not dissolved. It cannot be disintegrated. It is on the floating state. So asthenosphere is similarly called the plastic layer. Why? Because the rocks are in the floaty state there. It is molten. Okay. So you have to write this question. Polymers. Yes, correct, Divya. Polymers are non-dissolved states. So we cannot, they are on the floating state. Plastic floats. Similarly, the rocks in the asthenosphere floats, just like the Ram Setu example you can say. If you write Ram on the stone, it floats on the oceanic belt or the oceanic strait or between India and Sri Lanka, right? In the Balk Strait. So similarly, the floating state of rocks can be seen in the premises of asthenosphere. That's why we called it the plastic layer. So you have to write the answer. Okay, now, so we discussed shadow zone. So emergence of shadow zone, why we need to study that? To understand the basic concept of distribution of zones of earthquake and volcanoes. In NCERT, you must be seeing the angular differentiations. The diagram has been made. The angular differentiation of P wave, primary wave, is not between, let's say, this is your protector. Have you used your protector in school time? Are you still using that? So this is 90 degree, okay, and this is 180 degree. So in between, where is 105? Slide this obtuse angle. Hope I am correct in making that. Okay. So here it is 105 degree. Again we need to make 145 degree, 40 plus again. So here 145 degree of angular make. So this is the shadow zone in earth for P waves. So can you name any country resides in this zone or any continent in this angular zone? If this is suppose earth and we have a world map, like this. This is the pass of Mexico, North America. Here it is Europe, Russia, Asia, some parts. Okay, yes. So here we have Canada. Can we draw the same inclination here as well in the southern hemisphere? So where it is, suppose we take the angular inclination, उसको उल्टा कर देते हैं. So this is here. अगर if we opposite the protector, so same the angles being made down here. So P wave shadow zone is this. So this will help you to understand the distribution of earthquake and volcanoes, right? Because if the P wave is not coming on the surface in suppose this region, the Great Pacific down regions or the Antarctic, some parts of Antarctic, which means it is not under the vulnerable zones of earthquake and volcanic eruption. So these are shadow zones of P waves. P wave travels all the medium. That's why it reaches the surface very fast. So in spite this angular zones, all the zones of the world are vulnerable to earthquake and volcanic eruptions. Clear in mind? So these are shadow zone of S wave because S wave doesn't falls on the surface. Okay. Here S wave can come because this is not the zone for P wave. Okay. But vice versa, S waves are not in this zone. Okay. S waves are not in this angular zones. From 0 you can say to here 90. This is not the shadow zone of S wave because we have only this angular zone. Okay. 105 to 145. Here also 105 to 145. This is the angular zone of the shadow zone of P wave. Here it doesn't lies. And vice versa for S wave. Again go to the concept of S wave because S wave generally doesn't falls on the surface. It can complement the P wave, but it cannot single-handedly come to the surface. needs the support of primary wave. Okay, so here primary waves absence means secondary waves absence as well. In despite area, secondary wave can come and primary wave also. Okay, so this is the shadow zone. Here you won't find any earthquake zone or volcanic eruption zone. Rest of the parts of the earth has distribution of volcanoes and earthquake, which we are going to understand when we are going to understand earthquake and volcano. Concept clear? North America, America, Canada, yes? Correct. So the concept of shadow zone, hope you have cleared. Any confusion with that? Now we have layers of earth. Okay, so what we have to do today, one map exercise, because today I'm going to give you map, because today is week's last class, geography. So in the first two class, I'm going to give you mains practice questions and prelims questions. And in the last class, I'm going to give you the map practice question. So what you need to do is draw a world map. Draw a world map. Online students also. Map practice question. Draw a world map and specify the countries. You can take help from the Oxford Atlas School map. Here it is being detailed. Here is being guideline and detailed in a perfect manner. Draw a world map and locate the countries and the continents or the part of continents that falls under P wave shadow zone. That falls under P wave shadow zone. Okay? Now, layers of earth. This is also very important because you are going to understand two types of discontinuity here. Moho and Gutenberg. One question from Gutenberg is being asked in UPSC. But yes, layers of earth. How many are they? How many layers are there? 3. Crust, mantle and core. So this is how the diagram you will get in the synopsis of this class. This is how the diagram is. This is crust. Okay. It is till 50 to 100 kilometers at some space. Okay. At oceans, it is less to 5 kilometers. At plains, it is 12 kilometers. At mountains, it is 50 kilometers, round off. So 50 to 100 kilometers with the peak and the height. So mantle is divided into two parts. Okay. Upper mantle and lower mantle. So upper mantle is from 100 to 400 kilometers. This is upper mantle. And this is lower mantle. Again the core is divided. Here it ends with 2900 kilometer. Again 5100 kilometer till outer core. Outer core. And then 6370, the point of radius still is inner core. Okay. So what are the compositions? Here it is asthenosphere in the upper mantle zone. It is here, it is Moho discontinuity. We need to discuss this to build your concept. What is discontinuity? Break in the continuation. If something is in continuation, we break it, right? So Moho Vian was a scientist who gave this idea that why earthquake and volcano occurs at the sphere of asthenosphere. Because of this discontinuity, the assemblance of the structure is not in the continuation mode or the asthenosphere. That's why the temperature changes here, the pressure changes here, and the discontinuity continuity leads to the eruption and the seismic wave outrage. Okay? So you can write the first specification, crust. I will discuss this in the crust and mantle layer combined concept. The first layer of the earth is crust. The first layer of the earth is crust. Yes, crust, mantle, core. Yes, Manjot. 3 layers. Divya, correct. So the first layer, I am giving you the notes. You can make the diagram as well. Otherwise, for the online student, you guys can make that. Otherwise, for online student, the synopsis will be uploaded. So the core, sorry, the crust is the outermost layer of the earth. Ma'am, what is written after outer core? This is inner. This is inner core. I will write in bigger font. This is inner core till the point of 6370 kilometer, and this is outer core till 2900 kilometer to 5100 kilometer. Word from S. Where is S? Okay, here. This is asthenosphere. This is asthenosphere. Asthenosphere. Okay, so crust is the outermost layer of the earth. Yes, Nakul, correct. Moho discontinuities between which two layers? Crust and mantle. Between crust and mantle. It is brittle in nature. The crust is brittle in nature. Brittle means nazuk, fragile. The crust layer is fragile in nature. Here you can write the divisions. The layer of the crust is thin in oceans. The layer of the crust is thin in oceans. Moderate layer over the continent. Moderate layer over the continent, 30 kilometers. Moderate layer over the continents. And high layering over the mountains and hill spaces, like 70 kilometers in Himalaya. The crustal layer is 70 kilometers on Himalayan range. Okay. So the next layer is mantle. Not mental, M-E-N-T-A-L. It's M-A-N-T-L-E. Means middle layer. All the words are, the technical words of geography are given by Latin Greeks. So you will find some Greek culture of word and similes of Greek culture in geography. Okay. So mantle means middle layer of the earth. So below crust, mantle accounts the 83% of the volume of this earth surface. It counts 83% of the volume. Okay. So suppose if this is a bucket filled of water and mantle has blue water. So most of the water in this bucket is filled up of blue water. So the volume comprise of mental state. That's why many intrusive actions are taken care by mental state. Okay. It extends up to 2900 kilometers of depth. It extends up to 29 kilometers of depth. Okay. The weakest zone of the Earth's structure, the weakest zone of the Earth's structure lies in asthenosphere. Okay. In the upper mental zone. Now, Moho discontinuity. The discontinuity is a division between crust and mantle layer. Here your answer, Nakul. Moho discontinuity is between crust and mantle layer, which means the stop or the standstill of continuation. It stops somewhere. The mechanism stops somewhere and some other respective mechanisms start happening. So Moho discontinuity is a division between crust and mantle, which states all the intrusive actions from beneath the Earth's surface. Okay. Similarly, the last layer of the Earth is core. The last layer of the Earth is core. So core is the deepest and last layer. The outer core is in the liquid state. The outer core is in the liquid state. See, if you study geography, so I followed a hack in understanding the layers of atmosphere and understanding the layers of Earth's interior, Z form. Z climate, have you, if you will be studying Z form. This is how it happens. So you need to understand the matters of the interior of the Earth. So how will you understand? This is crust, solid. This is mantle's upper layer, liquid. Lower layer, solid. Upper layer of the core, liquid, and then solid. Okay. SLSLS. So the first layer of the crust is solid. Upper mantle asthenosphere is liquid. Then the lower is in solid state. And then the upper is in liquid state, outer core. And then the inner core is in solid state. So I used to use the zigzag form. Basically it was my hack for UPSC. The zigzag form of understanding the matter layers of interior of the Earth. Okay. So this is how the core part of the third layer of the Earth, core you can write. The outer core or the outer core is of liquid state or in the molten state. Okay. But the inner core has 13,000 Kelvin temperature, comprise it of into solid state. So it consists of what? Again Nife, nickel and ferrous. Nickel and ferrous. Nickel and iron is comprised in the core section. So these were the layers of your Earth's interior, divided into 3 layers. Okay. So there is one more question you can write here, practice question, as I will be taking your class on Monday. Write one question. Discuss about the implications of Moho discontinuity. Discuss about the implication of Moho discontinuity Moho discontinuity in the activities that takes place on the earth's surface. Okay, one thing I need to discuss, Gutenberg discontinuity. Gutenberg discontinuity. What is Gutenberg discontinuity? Here also, hence you can write in the core section. Wherever you are writing the core section, you can write Gutenberg discontinuity. Online students also. It is a division or a discontinuity division between mental and core. Okay, that's why the changes of state of matter is here. The discontinuity, what it changes, it changes everything with a one layer to another. Here you have a liquid state. Okay, temperature was, sorry, here you have the lower mental is in solid state and the upper outer core is in the liquid state. So here the temperature is slightly high and then suddenly low. So here this discontinuity state is, you can see there. This is the division of Gutenberg discontinuity. Okay. Moho is a division between mental and crust. And Gutenberg is a division between mental and core. Okay. These two discontinuities gave the birth of different state of matters. Solid, liquid, solid, liquid, solid, liquid. Because it changes the continuation of your mechanism. Temperature, pressure, wave patterns. Okay. So here is one map question. Where is the deepest Moho discontinuity in the world? You can write the question, map question. Because I want you to practice the map from the very first day. जो कि हर बच्चे का डर होता है geography के साथ, है ना? If you are taking geography as optional, I want you to practice map every day. If a temperature is, okay, Moho discontinuity, yes, Nakul, if the temperature is high in inner cone, then why it is in the solid form? See, solidification is basically, you can say that temperature imbounds itself in itself. Liquid state, which means that the spread of temperature into outer space. If there is a liquid state, the space tends you to reflect the temperature into the outer world. But due to the thick layering, there is no surpass of the gases. So the gases standard here only in the lower core. So what happens to it? It combines itself. Okay. So every temperature zone, like if you will say iron is in the molten state or is in the rock state. So it is always temperatures in the molten state when it surpasses the gas. But if it's not surpassing the gas into the space, it will convert into solid state and in the block temperature form. So that's why, because of the less Mariana Trench is the deepest deep block, yes, natural deepest deep block of the earth. Sushanta? Yeah, it is not the interior of the earth. It is the deepest trench, you can say, सबसे बड़ा गड्ढा अगर धरती पे. If you say that Mauna Kua is the highest mountain range within the ocean, if the Mauna Kua would be on the continent, then Mount Everest wouldn't be the highest peak of the world. Similarly, Mariana Trench is the deepest down trench of this world. So yeah, you can go there if you want to for a oceanic dive. So yeah, that's why if you the surpass of temperature, Nakul, if the place is not getting the space to surpass the temperature, it solidify itself basically. That's why the inner core is in the solidification structure. And the magnetism that builds up, the electron and proton concept basically, it combines itself into one other form. Okay. So that's why it is in the inner core. अगर वहाँ पे आसमान होता और space होता तो वो भी solidification of floating state पे होता. Okay. It would be have in the floating state. Now there's a map question. Where is the deepest Moho discontinuity in the world? You can write the question. Where is the deepest Moho discontinuity? Moho discontinuity in the world. Moho discontinuity का implication, what is the post effect and implication of Moho discontinuity? Means continuous vibration of earthquake or the volcanic eruption. This is what can be implied about Moho discontinuity. So where it is high on this world, कहाँ पे ये सबसे ज़्यादा है? तो it is in Hokkaido in Japan, the least island, the last island of Japan. Hokkaido has the deepest Moho discontinuity pattern can be seen in the world. So we can draw the map here like this. So this is how the Japan's islands are. This is how it ends here, and here it starts the last island of Japan. It is in a very small state. We can call it inset as well. So it is, yes, Hokkaido, and this is the group of island of Japan. So Japan is in the vulnerable state of discontinuity. It faces many waves and vibrations. So here the location of Hokkaido, it has the deepest Moho discontinuity in the world. You can draw the map, online students as well can draw the map, and the answer of this is Hokkaido. It's situated in Japan. It is one of the last group of island in Japan. Okay, so these are the differences: Toho, Kodo, Toho, Ko, and then Kanto, Kinaki or Kinki, we call it Kinaki, Trobo. So these are the islands, and this is the last one. Hokkaido is the faces the all the post effects and implications of Moho discontinuity. Any confusion in the online class? You can draw this map as well, and this map will be uploaded in the synopsis class also. Synopsis that will be delivered to you. Now we have the second unit of this chapter that will be start in 5 minutes. I'm going to take a coffee break. Okay. So yes. Okay, class. Let's start with the second unit of this class today. Hello Divya, what you are not able to understand, beta? You have written no, ma'am. Please tell me again that what concept you are not able to understand. So, ma'am, it was regarding when you asked for any doubt. Okay, okay. Sorry. So we are finished here with the interior of the earth section. In NCERT, you will find earthquakes and types of earthquakes and volcanoes in this chapter. But I am going to take that in a broader class. Okay, because as per the demand of UPSC syllabus, the geophysical phenomena, volcanoes, tsunamis, earthquake, you need to give a glance understanding on these topics. So the second topic for today is rocks and major mineral elements of earth. As we are discussing interior, we need to know that earth is combined of what? The Panch Tantra. We humans are made up of Agni, Hava, and how many are these? Panch. Can you tell what are these? Yes. Air, water, fire, sky. Okay. Sky means atmosphere in geography. Gases. Right? And rocks and minerals of earth. यहाँ पे again evolution of lithosphere, yes, gases, yes, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, everything just put into one dynamics, one approach. So your lithosphere consists of around 2000 minerals. These 2000 minerals are being extracted from 8 major minerals inside the earth. Like अभी तक हम लोग एस्थेनोस्फेयर तक ही पहुंच पाए हैं. We have been reached till asthenosphere. This is basic research and this is the basic development in the field of geology, that we had been able to reach till asthenosphere's first block. So asthenosphere details that about major 8 minerals that gives birth to these several baby minerals, around 2000 minerals that has been in the advance of acknowledgement till date. Okay, so 8 minerals, and it composites us of 98% of Earth's total composition. Earth's total composition. What are these 8 minerals? Aluminium. So you don't need to write the names, because you need to write, understand and learn the names of all these minerals. So allow the subject chemistry here, because in UPSC you can borrow all the concepts from all the subjects. This is the beautiful part and journey of UPSC, that every subject is beautifully imbibed and collaborated with each other. So again, periodic table from 10th standard, bring it here. Al क्या है? Aluminium, right? Then silica, Si या Sl है? I. Silica, second element, the first element, second mineral. Third, O और O2. पहले O था, it was in free oxygen. जब हम लोग climate पढ़ेंगे ना, तो O2 और free oxygen का concept थोड़ा सा पढ़ेंगे in the formation of ozone layer. So in the initial stage it was O only, but with water vapor and hydrogen, the state of molecular action, it combined and become oxygen. Otherwise we would not be available here. The COVID time gave us the crisis of oxygen. That time we got to understand the importance of oxygen. Yes, Nakul, Sile, Saima, knife, very good. These are the basic general minerals. Yes. So these are not in the independent state. These are on dependent states. They combined with each other with the chemical actions, right? So after that oxygen we have ferrous, we have manganese, we have sodium, we have potassium and respective all. So you don't need to understand the names. In geography, go with the symbols, or in any subject, put the symbols and just learn it. Okay? Suppose you are learning the coordinates of geography. यहाँ पे कुछ hacks we need to understand the hacks also to prepare for the UPSC. So tell me, what is your name? Sunny. Tell me the lat and long of India, latitudinal extent and longitudinal extent. 8th, you have, after potassium, you have phosphorus beta, aluminium, silicon, oxygen, iron, magnesium, sodium, potassium and phosphorus. So the 8th one, I'm sorry I forgot. So you need to understand the symbols. Yeah, tell me, lat longs, latitudinal extent of India. Two. Okay, now longitudinal extent. 2. So this needs to learn. This, suppose this is latitudinal longitudinal extent of our country. You need to learn Mexico's lat long extent. Yeah, UPSC asks you what is the latitudinal extent of Mexico. So how will you understand? Mobile number, the way we learn the mobile numbers. In geography, we tend to learn the coordinates. 84376. 8, 4, 3, 7, 6. Numbers याद हो गए? We learn it. Now we just need to put the symbols. Right? Same with the longitudinal extent. In this process, you can learn any longitudinal and latitudinal extent of any country. So this is the basic, because we are in the basic of the class. So I am giving you the example of India as you are familiar. Again, the longitudinal extent 6, 8, 7, 9, 7, 2, 5. 6, 8, 7, 9, 7, 2, 5. 8, 4, 3, 7, 6. This is going to help you in preparing your remembering hacks in UPSC preparation, right? So break the concepts into smaller parts into symbols. Okay, so these are the basic 8 minerals that gives birth to 2000 minerals. UPSC is not going to ask you what are these 2000 minerals because it's impossible to learn 2000 minerals at a time. Okay, so all these 8 minerals comprise of 98% of Earth's atmosphere only. The whole Earth, the whole domain sphere of the Earth. Okay. Now, what are the characteristics of minerals? Write down in your copy. Online students also write in your notes. Writing every day will improve you, because in this COVID time, because of the long duration span aside of study, you forgot writing, you forgot reading, or you generally lost the practice of writing and reading. So this will help you to come back with your preparation. Characteristics first. What is a characteristic? Crystal form, external crystal form. Metals are, or minerals are, compounded in crystal forms, right? Like in the prism form or in the hexagonal form. This is how they used to be. This is how they used to be, right? They are not shapeless. In a pentagon form, in the octagon form, right? So this is what? Crystal form. Okay, first characteristic. Second characteristic is cleavage. So what is the literal meaning of cleavage? Breaks, right? It breaks into two parts. So this is the second is cleavage. Second point is cleavage. Second characteristics. Third is fracture. Means in the outer space it divides itself into two parts, but in its inner space also it has a fracture element. Smaller units. It can get itself fractured into smaller units as well. So third characteristic is fracture. And the fourth is luster. The fourth characteristic is luster. Luster means appearance of the material without any color. Okay, it has its own color, right? So it is lustrous in nature. After that, fifth characteristic, yes, shining, right? It has its own shine, just like the star Divya. It has its own flame. So metals and minerals have its own shine. Now, fifth is color. Color. Minerals have different colors, right? Can you tell some minerals with different colors? Yes. Quartz has greenish color when it is in ocean. Okay. So feldspar is it of yellow color? Feldspar is a metal or mineral. It is of yellow color. Yes, ma'am. Potassium is of purple. Yes, Divya, correct. So potassium is of purple. Quartz, if In C it is of pink, feldspar is of yellow. So these are the color structures of minerals. Why it happens? Any chemistry student? Why the color of a mineral is different from each other? Reactions. Very good. Because of reaction. After that, streak. It has different prism of colors in itself also. Like if any mineral is in pink, so it will turn to red as well. It can change its streak of color, right, with other reaction of a mineral. So it has a streak of color. Okay, just like the scale of Fair and Lovely. If you get the practical example, the different complexion scale in Fair and Lovely. So similarly in minerals there is a different complexion scale called streaks. Now transparency. Transparency means transparent, visible the backside, visibility of the backside. उसके बाद opaque भी है. उसके बाद का characteristics, like diamond has transparency but iron has opaque, right? And some are translucent as well. After the characteristic is structure. After transparency it's structure. It's always in a structured manner. Every mineral it has its own structure. It is not in a pseudo manner, right? After that, hardness. It is hard in nature. Okay, which mineral is not hard? The only exceptional mineral is not hard. Any exceptional mineral present in this earth domain which has the exception that it is not hard in nature? Mercury. Yes, Divya, correct. Mercury is in liquid state. Always it remains in liquid state, right? Okay, specific gravity. It has specific gravity, which means the ratio between every mineral, given object, everything in this world has its own weight and volume that keeps the gravity between two, right? Two objects. So these were the basic general characteristics of rocks and minerals. What is the difference between rock and mineral? Here you need to understand. What is the general difference between rock and mineral? So rock is the composition of two or more minerals. Okay. Mineral is only in one unit form. Okay. It has its one unit form. But rocks, that we need to understand and learn its concept in geography, two or more components mix with each other like minerals and forms rocks. Okay. The ink is not working properly. Online students, visible the board? So rocks. So this is the basic difference between mineral and rock. Now you can write types of minerals. What are the types of minerals? You can write. Basic type is metallic and non-metallic. And in metallic you can include ferrous, precious and non-ferrous. Right? So what are the types of minerals? Types of minerals. First, metallic. Metallic minerals. Second, non-metallic minerals, right? So metallic minerals we have precious, ferrous minerals means contains iron, precious, sona, gold, diamond, right? Gold, diamond, silver, platinum. These are precious minerals. Ferrous contains iron and respectively the composite minerals. Non-ferrous are phosphorus, potassium, sodium, right? Now non-metallic minerals. These are also minerals, but it has no characteristics of metals, right? It has no magnetism, it has no chemical reaction, it has no conductivity, right? Brass, granite, cement, okay? These are non-metallic minerals. So you can write, or I should tell you, the non-metallic metallic minerals composite of those minerals which have no characteristics of metals, like less conductivity, less chemical reaction, less metallic reaction. But metallic minerals are those which have metallic form of characteristics, right? And it has three differentiations: precious, ferrous, and non-ferrous. Minerals is taken out of the rock. Yes, Sushanta, it can taken out of the rock. In fact, the natural process of weathering and fragmentation that we are going to study in the rock cycle. So the minerals are taken out of the rock and the composition of rock changes into other part. Okay. So now the next topic is types of rocks. You can write. First you need to know the definition of rock, and then you can write types of rocks. So first, rock is the composition. Rock is the composition rock is the composition of Earth's crust, of Earth's crust. Of Earth's crust. Shushanta, have you started reading NCERT beta from 6 to 10 standard? Online students, Sushanta, have you started reading NCERTs from 6 to 10? Please buy them, or you can use any application of NCERT. And yeah, Priyajyot, because that will set you the basic general understanding of geography. Because in later classes now, we are going to discuss many technical topics of geography which is not going to be understandable to online class students unless and until you don't need a set background to understand geography. So 6 to 10 standard books for NCERT is going to help you, and it is going to be very fruitful for you, right? So it no need to buy the offline books, because online there are many platforms and applications. You just need to give a clarity reading. I'm not saying you that learn each and every part of NCERTs, but give a clarity reading to 6 to 10th social science books. Yes, 11, 12 plays the syllabus role in the UPSC beta, but 6 to 10 NCERT gives you the general understanding and concept, right? I am teaching from the 11th book only, na? 6 to 10th, if you're not going to understand that, that is the beautiful curriculum of NCERT. And that is, you can say, the poor mechanism of school learning, that we tend to forget, understand the parts of geography or social science in the school premises, right? So for understanding 11th and 12th, you need to study 6 to 10, at least for 1 or 2 times. It will hardly take 1 to 1.5 months to you. Okay, so Shanta, because as I know, all the students are answering me very clearly, but Sushanta, I think you need to develop your understanding. Okay, beta? That will help you to understand things in class as well. So rock. We are discussing about rock. So rock is an aggregate of one or more mineral. Rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals. Rock may be hard or soft. Rock may be hard or soft. and in varied colors. Just I said, the streak, the fair and lovely scale of complexion. Okay? Anyone use fair and lovely? Or sorry, glow, fair and I mean fair has been changed by the company. Glow and lovely. So in the early time they used to give the scale with the dabba, with the packet of the cream. Fair and handsome, no Nakul? I cannot use fair and handsome. I haven't used glow and lovely or fair and lovely as well. But yeah, the scale shows the streak, means the different complexions. So in rock structure also, there is a streak scale, means rocks are of different colors and different textures as well. Okay? Nakul uses fair and handsome, I think. So he replied. Okay, now, petrology is a science of rocks. Petrology is the science of rocks that gives us the idea about the composition, texture and structure of rocks. So the study of rocks is petrology. Okay? Just like the study of earth is geography. Divya, petrology means study of rocks. Petrology means study of rock. Just like study of earth is geography, similarly study of rock is petrology. Now here, should I repeat it again, Divya? Petrology means study of rocks. Type of rocks. The study of rock and rock structure is known as petrology. Petros means rock, logy means to study. Clear? Clear to you? Now, types of rocks. Here also, write a map question. Write a map practice question, online students. Before discussing this topic, I am going to give you a map question. Discuss all the sedimentary rock deposition parts you need to discuss, the locations you need to specify in your world map, sorry, in your continental map of South America. So discuss all the locations of deposition of sedimentary rocks in South American continent. In South American continent. So this is your, I think, second question of map practice. Now, first I have already given, right? Use Oxford Atlas School map. Every day, keep it with you. So types of rocks. Online students also, if you haven't bought yet the school atlas map, please buy, because that will help you in understanding the locations. So there are 3 types of rocks. What are these? Igneous rock, sedimentary, rocks, मेटामॉर्फिक. हर किसी का लिटरल मीनिंग पहले समझते हैं ताकि तुम्हें इसका कॉम्पोजिशन और मैकेनिज्म समझने में आसानी होगी. फर्स्ट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड all the literal meaning of the words in geography, right? Because many 90% students are not aware of the literal meaning, so they don't know the concepts. So keep it simple, the concepts. That is my hack in UPSC preparation. I used to prepare. So igneous means origin. Igneous means origin, right? So this is a parent rock kind of thing, directly coming from the surface. Okay? Sedimentary means sediments, means made out of deposition. Okay? Deposits. Okay? Metamorphic means rocks that changes its composition. Changes its composition. It's metamorphic rock. Every rock is bilaterally or collaterally integrated with each other. Means metamorphic rock can change back to igneous. Igneous can be sedimentary. Sedimentary can be metamorphic, and then metamorphic can be sedimentary. Okay, so there is a bilateral process that we'll going to understand in rock cycle process. So these three are the types of rocks. So the first is igneous rock. Yes, rock cycles, Cindy. We are going to learn that. Igneous rock, you can write in your notes what is igneous rock. Igneous rock is called the father rock or the origin rock. Igneous rock is known as the origin rock or the father rock. Your parent rock, you can say. Sorry for being patriarchal. I should use mother rock as well. So yeah. It is called the parent rock. It has higher mineral composition because it extracts directly from the surface of the earth, inside the surface of the earth. So it has high mineral composition. ऐसे समझो इसको. If it has high mineral composition, so it is lustrous in nature. All the mineral components are in this. So the characteristics are high. Okay, when you see any igneous rock, it is very lustrous, it is very shiny, it is very hard in nature because the minerals are more or in large number, right? So mineral composition is high. Granite is lighter in color. The granite is also an igneous rock, but it is in lighter in color, it is not lustrous. Contains greater proportion of oxides. It has greater proportion of oxides. So what is the nature of oxygen? If the oxide is in the component of mineral, then what is the nature of the mineral? Nitrogen meets with oxygen. Nitrogen oxide makes a composition, a harder composition, right? Nitrogen meets with oxygen, ammonia, right? So oxygen or oxides makes the composition stronger, right? More stronger, more solidified, more harder. So it has proportion of oxides which are greater, right? So that's why it is very hard in nature. Igneous rocks are very hard in nature. So everything is relatable in geography with chemistry and physics. Okay? So learn in that way. And all the science students, I think, love geography because of these conceptual understanding with chemistry and physics. I am a R student, though I try to make the general understanding with things and concepts. But yeah, for science students, it is very interesting part. Because for a science student, geography is a bacha kind of thing. It's a baby kind of thing. If you have studied science, geography would be easy for you. So now, sedimentary rock is the second type of rock. Earth's surface are exposed to denudation. Denudation means the depositional activities. Every second depositional activity, denudational activity is been taking place on Earth's surface. So denudation means continuation, या motion or deposition. Okay, so this is the basic technical term denudation in geography means deposition or continuation motion. So this motion or denudation helps the igneous rock to break into smaller parts. Okay, and this process is called lithification. When you will learn rock cycle, lithification plays an important role from conversion of igneous to sedimentary rock. Okay, so lithification is the fragmentation of parent rock into sedimentary rocks. Lithification is the fragmentation. Online students, you guys are writing now? You people are writing? Yes, very good. So lithification is the process under which the fragmentation of igneous rocks took place into sedimentaries or sediments. Okay. Now the third type of rock is metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks. Complete metamorphism. Have you studied the concept of this word? I think is, have you heard in the frog and tadpole metamorphism? Frog metamorphism. Metamorphism means complete change. Let's say if you are Sunny, then you will become some other person in next birth of your lifespan. So there's a complete change in you, right? Or you have your plastic surgery. You change your face. So that is what? Metamorphism. Complete compositional change. So a tadpole, in initial time, you cannot say that it is a fish or it is a frog, right? It has a tail similar to the fish. But what happens? Complete change to its body structure. It converts into the metamorphic stage of a frog. So here the term metamorphism states a complete change in the rock's composition. Clear, online students? So metamorphic means the complete change of rock composition under PVT formula. Under PVT. Pressure, volume and temperature. Pressure, volume and temperature. So these three, if implied on any rock, it changes its composition. Let's say if the igneous rock is being surfaced on the equator zone. So continuous temperature on the rock will fragment its path, because temperature what makes? It makes the rock molten. It will break into other fragments and the metamorphism start taking place. After the metamorphism, igneous rock turns into other compositions that we cannot call it igneous, the origin rock. We will say it metamorphic. And if the metamorphic rock denudately sedimented to other part with the rain or soil erosion, then it converts into sedimentary rock. Generally समझ में आया थोड़ा था? So rocks in metamorphic state chemically modify or recrystallize itself. It chemically modify itself. In chemistry also you might be studying these crystallization, the concept of crystallization. What we do in crystallization or thermal metamorphism? Thermal metamorphism means change with the availability of temperature. What we do with the mineral? We give it a temperature. Just say बहुत ही basic example है water. Water is in a liquid state. If we give the thermal inner conduction to it, what happens? It turns into gaseous state, vapor form. So here also, water is also a mineral. Rock is also a mineral. If we will give extra temperature, it might happen that it can change its state. So if it's changed its state, it turns to metamorphic rock. Clear concept? These three are the basic types of rocks. Okay. Now, rock cycle. The conversion, you can write the rock cycle meaning, and I'm going to draw the diagram to make you understand. Online students, anyone from I think science background? So this chapter is very interesting. I mean geographies, every physical geographies chapters are very interesting if you're from science background. And if you have studied 6th to 10th, you have some basic interest in geography, because without interest so you cannot. So you need to build. I mean, when I was preparing for civils, I used to hate studying science and technology. Means I hate science at that time, at the initial stage. But then I give a thought, I keep practicing the understanding of my concepts. So practice makes you generally interested about the subject. So keep practicing. Bhagna nahi hai. Don't rush and don't run from any subject. So with the continuous practice in the preparation, suppose if you don't like economy, suppose if you don't like polity, just because that you haven't studied and you have a clear fear of that subject. And NCRTs, again I'm saying it's a Bible for any subject. So if you pick NCRTs now, every NCRT is beautifully designed. Okay. Now let's complete the syllabus. I cannot start your orientation again. Rock cycle. rock cycle. Rock cycle is a continuous process. Cycle continuation में चलता है ना? जितने भी natural cycles है ना, it doesn't have any break. Breaks are only in man-made cycle. Whether it is water cycle, whether it is carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, phosphorus cycle that you are going to read in environment and ecology with me, all the cycles, all the natural cycles have no breaks. They are in continuation mode, right? So rock cycle is also a continuous process through which old rocks are transformed into new and new turns into old. Okay, so you can write the definition. Rock cycle is a continuous process. Rock cycle is a continuous process. Sorry. Yeah, is a continuous process through which old rocks are transformed. Old rocks are transformed into new composition and new composition converts into or evolves into other forms of rock. Okay. So here I will draw the rock cycle. This is your metamorphic rock. Here you have igneous rock. Then you have sedimentary rock. Okay, this is the general parent rock here. How it will convert to sedimentary? The process of lithification. Means fragmentation into smaller units. And then how sedimentary will convert into metamorphic rock? Thermal pressure. Is it? Temperature will be shooted up. Suppose sedimentation, again the denudation process took into other space or other latitudinal area. Suppose in arid zone. यहाँ पे पत्थर था, यहाँ से घलोट के राजस्थान चला गया. What will happen? Temperature shoots up. Then what will happen? This sedimentary rock changes into metamorphic rock. Okay. After then, igneous also changes into metamorphic rock. The ink is not working properly. Igneous also changes into metamorphic rock. How? Magma solidification. Again, टेम्परेचर चेंज हुआ यहाँ पे, वहां पे बढ़ा दिया था, यहाँ पे कम कर दिया, फिर से उसका कॉम्पोजिशन चेंज हो गया. सो हियर इट चेंजेस इनटू इट. नाउ हाउ दीज टू विल चेंज इनटू इग्नियस बैक, बिकॉज ये भी तो प्रोसेस में है ना. हाउ इट विल चेंज इनटू इग्नियस. सो दिस विल चेंज टू इग्नियस रॉक अगेन विथ weathering and erosion. Okay, how metamorphic rock will change into igneous back? If temperature is high, sorry, if temperature is lower, solidification, again if we'll do the temperature, यहाँ पे फिर बढ़ा दिया, then what will happen? The composition will shift back to igneous. So this is the general understanding of rock cycle. Clear? इस डायग्राम को यू कैन मेक, और ऑनलाइन क्लास वाले बच्चे स्टूडेंट्स, यू विल गेट द सिनॉप्सिस, द सिमिलर सिनॉप्सिस ऑफ दिस डायग्राम आई विल शेयर विथ यू. ओके, सो एनी कंफ्यूजन विद द रॉक साइकिल? I have given you the map question. What is the map question? Can you repeat the metamorphic to igneous? Yes, Divya, I can repeat that. Let's say metamorphic rock is converted from igneous if we shooted the temperature, or the temperature is cooled down. Like if the volcanic eruption happened, magma came out of the surface and then it solidified itself. So how it solidified itself? When it came into the contact of air and temperature. Again, what will happen if suppose the earthquake happens here, any natural calamity, this metamorphic rock again surface down within the earth. It has no air, it has high temperature. Then again it will convert into igneous rock, right? So this is how metamorphism change into igneous. Igneous change to metamorphic with the magma solidification or some other aspects. Sedimentary, lithification. Sedimentary to metamorphic, again temperature or thermal pressure changes or any other componential change of geophysical activity, then it is in metamorphic process. So is this cycle is interrelated with each other? Clear, Divya? Online students clear with the rock cycle? Okay, now you have world map. So world map, you need to understand the distribution of sedimentary rocks, igneous rock. I have given you one map practice of South America, that you need to show me the maps with the distribution of sedimentary deposits or sedimentary rocks in South American continents. Okay, I have a prelims question to discuss. The oldest rock of world. So you have to correct the statement. The question is from this rock cycle. You need to understand now why we are studying this. How UPSC can ask you the question. Okay, so 2012 you have a prelims question. Today I am not going to give you any mains answer writing question. I have given you two map practice now. Oldest rocks of वर्ल्ड. ठीक है, ये एक स्टेटमेंट है इन अ क्वेश्चन 2012 प्रीलिम्स. ओल्डेस्ट रॉक्स ऑफ वर्ल्ड. फर्स्ट assertion to this statement is आर्कियन एज. कहाँ पे है ये आर्कियन एज? सो आर्कियन एज जियोलॉजिकल डेट टाइम में जाओ, कितना साल पहले, जब रॉक्स बन रहे थे, आर्क्स बन रहा था. आर्क्स इज कम फ्रॉम द वर्ड द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ रॉक्स. ठीक है, सो आर्कियन एज हैज डेट्स 4.6 to 2.5 billion years ago. This was Archean age. Okay, now the second assertion of the statement is distribution of this Archean age is Kapwal. I think double A will be there, na? Kapwal, Zimbabwe, and Congo cratons. Congo cratons. What is the meaning of cratons? Cratons is a region. Okay, cratons is a region where the rock crystallization took place. Okay, it is a vast region or realm, you can say, realm or region where the rock crystallization takes place. So Congo cratons, Zimbabwe and Kapwal, these three are the reasons. The assertion of this statement says कि okay, oldest rock of the world कब से dated है, आर्कियन एज से है, इतना पुराना है, this old. Second statement says कि okay, situated in Kapwal, Zimbabwe and Congo, these three are in Africa, right? And what is the composition of these rocks? Granite. What is the composition of this rock? Granite. Genesis means the genesis, the genetic structure of this rock is granite. Okay, so granite genesis. So correct this statement. The question is correct the statement. Correct the statement with the above option. First is A and B is correct. Okay. Second is only A is correct. Sorry, only B is correct. Third is all the options are correct. In camera it is not showing. I think these three are the basic options. Okay. फर्स्ट इज आर्कियन एज टाइम पे है रॉक यहाँ पे डिपॉजिट. 3 जगह के नाम है, 3 डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव एरियाज एंड लोकेशंस इन अफ्रीका. एंड थर्ड इज द जेनेसिस ऑफ द रॉक इज ग्रेनाइट. So these 3 options are correct, all the above. We can see in the map. You can write the question in your copy. The oldest rocks of the world is in Africa. In Africa's 3 craton belts. We can locate in the map of the Africa. We can locate in the map of Africa. First you write the question, oldest rock of the world. आर्कियन एज में है ये. कैपोवल, जिम्बाब्वे, कॉन्गो. क्रेटन्स, ग्रेनाइट है उसका रॉक स्ट्रक्चर. द रॉक स्ट्रक्चर इज ग्रेनाइट. ओके, सो ऑल द अबव आंसर्स आर करेक्ट. वी आर गोइंग टू लोकेट इन द मैप ऑफ अफ्रीका. This is how suppose the map of Africa is. Okay. So here the craton means I discussed already. Cratons is a region, not only specific. So these belt has oldest rock. Okay, this whole belt, this whole region has oldest rock in Africa. So this region is called Kapawal Craton. Kapawal, AAL, Kapawal Craton. Okay. Geophysical activity, world geography, silent features of world physical geography, relevance with the UPSC syllabus. First, Craton, Kapawal Craton 1. Then here is Congo Craton. Here is the Congo Craton. Clear with the word Craton? Congo Craton or Craton you can say the pronunciation. Then here is Zimbabwe or the West Africa Craton, because Zimbabwe is a country. Other than that there is West Africa Craton. So these 3 cratons has world's oldest rock deposits. Okay. So in map you can see. Online students, in map you can see this question. So all the above, the assertion to this question is correct. One question from the topic prelims, 2 map practice question of today. Okay. Okay, online students, have you written the map practice questions, or should I tell once again if students are joined later or lately? Should I repeat the questions of map practice? Students, clear with today's topics? Written, ma'am. Okay, Divya, Nakul, Manjot, written. Okay, practice it, because our geography class will take place back again on Monday. So this is your weekly task, your mains questions and your map practice question. Okay. So clear with the main prelims question today that we discussed. Okay, so this is how this will able to make you understand that why we are studying all this in. Because UPSC asks you from the every concepts and the every delineation of its specified syllabus. So you need to always keep an eye on the world map as well. So today you will practice the map of South Africa and the deposition of sedimentary rocks in South Africa. You need to name me the places where sedimentary rocks are deposited. I will ask you in the next class. Okay? Use the atlas map. Everyone in online class have atlas? Because you need to buy atlas if you don't have. My charger was. Okay, so I am ending the class. Ma'am, Africa or America? Nakul, I have discussed the question from Africa about the rock deposits, the oldest rock deposits of the world. But the question to you is South America. You have to discuss the sedimentary rock. You have to discuss the sedimentary rock depositions and the places in South America. Okay? So you need to name me the places with the locations on the map. Okay, thank you, Nakul. So I'm ending the class for today. All the best for your weekly preparation. Bye. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you.